All right, I really wish I recorded this whole day, but today is Saturday. It's typically my day off, and it usually varies depending on what I do, but typically it's my only day off in the week, and I try to be as productive as possible on these days. The last couple weeks I've definitely vegged out like crazy, being sick and whatnot, and this morning I've already woke up, slept in, which is actually very nice because I'm up every day at 4:45 for 5:30 clients. But woke up about 6:45, 7 a.m. That was nice. Took the dog out to the park, got some coffee, came back. The wife's out of town, so I just straightened up the house for her. So when she gets back, I don't get yelled at. And then now I'm actually in my garage. I actually had to come back and get the camera because I realized I checked a lot of boxes that I set intention for the first half of the year. And it's actually funny because the last like couple of weeks I've been feeling really off, like non-super purposeful and whatnot. And it's because I don't have a purpose, technically speaking, when it comes to like the fitness and the business stuff, because I actually hit all my goals and all my kind of key performance indicators. So it's time to reestablish, and it's actually no better time than now because it's actually the back half of the year with I think it's July like 12th right now. So I'll take you guys into the garage. I'll kind of show you guys what the goals that I set for myself for the back half of the year are and all the goals that I actually hit. It's weird, man. I'm not super braggadocious, but I'm actually super stoked and proud of myself for actually hitting actually every single goal that I set out for myself for the first half of the year. So yeah, bring you guys back into the garage. So yeah, I actually had to consolidate the board a little bit, but MDL's Muay Thai Development League, I had 2 of those. I had the DECA Partner Marathon Relay win with Brad and Manny, half marathon PR in June at 1 hour 51 minutes. I did a Muay Thai seminar with a guy named Liam Harrison, one of the best UK Muay Thai fighters of all time. 10 clean pull-ups, so that was huge after shoulder reconstruction. 8 miles at an 8-minute pace. I've never gone that long at that pace, so that's solid. And it was actually funny, when I got my knee tattoo, I want to say it was June 15th. I got so sick right after. And this is kind of the fresh reset. So that's more... I guess personal goals, sub 8% body fat. I think I was at 6.9 actually. Got my knee tattoo, got a new car, which is stoked, and then I feel like I did a pretty good job of creating some work-life balance. I'm gonna keep writing some new goals, but yeah, back half of the year, and try to knock out a full marathon. I turned 30 in September. I'm gonna maybe do a little douchebaggy photo shoot just to kind of show off the spreads and whatnot. But yeah, I mean, just with Muay Thai and the reconstructed shoulder, I feel like my physique has been a lot more maintainable, which is awesome. Less crash dieting. In and Out is actually doing a Tough Mudder, I think also in September. And then November, December, High Rocks. I don't think I'm ready for a solo yet, but partner or group with some people from North County. So that's how I plan on staying sharp the back half of the year. And I think a really good quote actually came from the movie Shang-Chi, but if you aim at nothing, you will hit nothing. And I feel like when I train a lot of people and I ask like, hey, like, what are your goals? And they're like, oh, I don't know. It's like, you know, in a certain aspect, coaches can help you and guide you in that direction. But, right, that's when things start to get jaded. And that's when I feel like people stop working with trainers, is like the trainers almost create the entire agenda for them. So it needs to be more of a collaboration than a dictatorship if you are working with the coach. But that's just my 2 cents. That's how I set goals and intentions for myself. That's how I recommend everybody else do it. But let's get to the workout, baby. speaking honestly, I'm struggling right now. Oh my gosh, it just sucks. I feel like I use the first half of the year just to, really dial in my own personal fitness, and then, all the other things kind of slide, like my own business or personal life. Then it's funny, you get sick, you focus on the business, personal life again, and the fitness goes down. It's just crazy. Talk about the Venn diagram of life, finding that balance all the time. But anyways, right now, I'm just enjoying the front rack or front squat position or Zercher is just like putting a bar on my back sucks, honestly. So I just did one warm-up set, about to do another warm-up set, about 15 reps. I'm just working speed, going through a limited range of motion. I'm not trying to be a power lifter or necessarily grow my legs. I'm just trying to really focus on developing strength and the short explosive range of motion that I will need for sport in Muay Thai, which I'm not a professional, that's more like hobby. And just like jumping and running and just being really bouncy. No need to train the range of motion full depth unless you are doing a competition or a sport that requires you to hit that full depth. In the real world, we don't change directions like this. We change direction like this. So I'm just trying to overload myself in this range of motion by using the box squat and focusing on power, speed, building resilience in the muscles, but also creating some bone density and some tensile strength in the tendon movements as well. Man, given the circumstances, I haven't even put over 200 pounds in the front rack at least. I've done it on a Zercher a couple months ago. But yeah, given the circumstances, this thing's moving pretty well. Get a nice little glide. Kind of shrug up a little bit more, less pinching, no pain really. It's about a little more than 2.5 years post ladder jet reconstruction. I'm never not going to talk about it, so if you get annoyed, sorry, but I know there's people out there that have less of a invasive shoulder surgery and they're still not where they want to be. So if there's one thing that I'll tell you when it's coming off of a shoulder surgery, it's to stay on top of PT every day. They tell you 1 set of 10, do 2 sets of 20. You really got to stay on top of it because the shoulders, we're just always in such a compromised position, working, driving, slouched over on the couch, and then kind of get this upper cross syndrome where we're kind of here, and we need to be in a position where we're a little bit more retracted, or at the very least have mobility in the scapulas to elevate the press, roll forward, roll backward, all these different ranges of motion. So, like I said before, I'm not looking to do any competitions as far as weightlifting right now, but creating that strength in the range of motions that my body allows me to do is super important to continue to strengthen that. And who knows, push through those range of motion barriers, bigger, faster, stronger, more mobile every day. Give it a shot, baby. tool. This is the banded clamshell side plank. This is going to help with glute development, glute med, all the glute heads, and hip extension. A lot of times we work the forward and backward plane, we don't really work the lateral plane, so it gets a little bit more of the AD and abductors, the glutes, and the inside of the hips working. You can go for, I like to do, it's called 10-10-10 method, where you do 10-second isometric hold. I'll do 10 reps and finish with a 10-second isometric hold. I usually only do about 2-3 rounds of this, but if you're somebody who has sciatic pains, back pains, tight or weak hips, tight or weak hamstrings, this is a really solid movement. So without further ado, start in the fetal position. I was called the fetal position. I try to break it up into 3 parts. Just lift the hips off the ground, keep the bottom leg on, separate the legs, and then full hip extension. So a solid cue to find out as if you're doing it right is if the knee, hip, and shoulder is in a straight line. I'm holding my 10, 3, 2, 1, and sit back down into the fetal position. So I'm not just going straight down, I'm kind of going down and back. And then I reach that full hip extension 10 more times. Reposition if you need to. Sometimes if you need something that will slide around. Last one. 10. Oh yeah. That'll get the booty working. But yeah, at the end of the day, the posterior chain, it should be the strongest muscle group in your body. Hamstrings, calves, glutes, lower back, upper back, posterior deltoids. A lot of times what we see in the mirror is what we tend to work on, but the key to strength, longevity, balance, bone density that works is developing the posterior chain. All right, so just wrapped up that workout. I know I kind of talked about the whole stimulus and the goal, what I was trying to do with just really creating more of a consistent schedule. I think a lot of times people dread leg day, myself included, especially since I connotate it a lot with how it was in like the high school football days when it was like 3, 4, 5 days a week. And like, if you're not sore, you're not doing it right. It's farthest from the truth. It's just a matter of creating a consistent schedule that A, is fun, is stimulating, but it's something that you know you can do and progress day, week, month after month. You know, it's a lot easier just to be like, oh, I'm going to skip this one because it's too hard. And then you do that for frickin' ever. And then you atrophy your legs, the bone density decreases, your balance goes to shit. All of a sudden you're 50, 60, 70 years old. You fall down the stairs, now you're dead. Sorry, but that's just the realistic approach of kind of what happens, you know. If you aim at nothing, you will hit nothing. So be intentional, my friends. Happy Saturday. Get my Fairlife protein in. It's not as bad as they say. It's not that serious. Get your protein in.